I was never supposed to be planning a funeral for my 13-year-old baby. I wish I could hear Sinzae call me mom again. I wish I could see him, smell him, and hold him again. But over everything, I wish I could tell him how much I love him. The only thing I have left of him are his ashes around my neck. All I'm asking is justice for my baby.
And we demand real tangible answers and actions. This family deserves more than that. Our community deserves more than that. The time is not now. The time was yesterday. It's been 3 months.
13 years old. Sinzae mattered. Sinzae has a support system. Sinzae had a community.
Police said a witness saw 36-year-old Krieg Butler fire shots at Reed and then drive away back on October 12th. Butler was arrested after the shooting, but police say during the review of the investigation, Butler alleged that he acted in self-defense. The prosecutor's office dismissed the charges. So we reached out to the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office. They tell us it's standard practice to have a felony case be dismissed in municipal court. We're told this case is under review to possibly be presented to the grand jury.
So being that we're from Columbus, we've got news about a 13-year-old by the name of Sinzae Reed who was murdered by a white man whose name escapes me. Butler. Krieg Butler? Krieg Butler. The story goes, at some point he got out of his car and unfortunately shot the 13-year-old kid multiple times and then got back in his car and drove off.
Apparently he was arrested and released. Why was he released? Because the ballistic report hadn't come back. So he shot somebody. They said it was self-defense, so they let him go.
There you go.
We'll check it out. If it checks out, we'll bring it back in. Does that story sound familiar to y'all?
It's happened multiple times.
I was about to say, it should sound very familiar. The most recent one would be Ahmaud Arbery.
It's a very similar trope.
I'm talking about the instances of individuals killing other citizens, claiming self-defense, and going home. Not even having to wait for an arraignment to see a judge.
I think it's ridiculous that a 36-year-old white man who, according to the pictures, seems like a pretty big guy, is claiming self-defense for a 13-year-old black kid.
Who was walking. What kind of self-defense do you need driving a car with a gun for a child who was walking? It doesn't matter. Let him go.
Especially since he had other charges, apparently.
Yeah, I think he was on parole for something. Domestic violence, domestic abuse. But I think a lot of people saw that story about Ahmaud Arbery and, just chalked it up to good old-fashioned Southern racism. Oh, no. That's the same pot of racism. They make that everywhere. They brew that everywhere, not just in the South. Columbus, Ohio, man.
But apparently there is no statute of limitations, so he could be charged for this at some point again. So,
I mean, we shouldn't have to be sitting here talking about it to make it happen, but we are. And just like, the story made it to us because there were activists who got active and got this story moving. We'll do our part because you just hate to see shit like that, man. It's like you expect certain places to operate like that. You expect to see that kind of behavior in certain areas of the country. It just is what it is. Reality checks like this hit us every so often to remind us, no, man, it's not special to any area of the country. These people exist everywhere. These individuals that hold this racial animus exist everywhere. I mean, shit. In this specific case, we might not even know. This man could literally be a psychopath out just walking about, and the Columbus Police Department doesn't believe it being necessary to have this individual who shot a child, once again, in self-defense. But I guess he's not a danger to anyone, as long as he claims self-defense.
He was charged with murder and put in jail under $1 million bond. But after he claimed self-defense, the charges were dismissed against him on October 19th, and he was released from jail.
You know somebody. You were in jail for murder, awaiting trial, and then the charges were dropped for awaiting arraignment. Was he ever arraigned? Does it say he was arraigned or what?
Police captured Krieg at his house the next day on October 13th, and then he was charged with murder and put in jail under $1 million bond.
Yeah, my boy caught a whole charged. Okay, so
Also,
yeah,
according to the boy's mother, Megan told the North Carolina Beat that Craig claimed her son had a gun, but when she went to where her son was shot, she didn't see a weapon, and neither did the witnesses tell her that they saw her son with a gun.
it gets hard to talk about these things, man. What more is there to say? What more is there to say? Last year we had Andre Hill and Casey Goodson.
And I still don't have any updates on either one of those.
This year we got Sinzae Reed. It's just like, what more is there to say?
Kyle Bryant, but they didn't go into any further. I guess the investigation that found that the cop was right in that case. So
Micaiah was the young girl who had the knife, right?
yeah. Yeah, no, they said that the Andre Hill case was supposed to start in March. Hold on. Murder trial of former Columbus police officer and shooting of Andre Hill postponed again. This was in November 2022. It doesn't say when it's been postponed to. So an article in November 2022 said that the Andre Hill case has been postponed again.
They expect this not to come out when that man hits the court. They expect this story to be dead. We're not going to let it die. For him or Casey. So stay up with us. When we get updates on those cases and this case as well, we will come back, talk to you about them again. Share this video. Share it to as many people as you see who has a mindset for this kind of thing. You know, who has a feeling to want to do something about it.
More people need
Share
to
it
be
to as many
aware.
people as you can. Because the louder this gets, the more likely they are to drag his ass back in. And we all know that it is terrible that we even have to do this, but that's where we at. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week for hopefully more positive segments.
Absolutely. And make sure you check out our previous video on something like this where we talk about a Blue Lives Matter supporter who had joined the cause to speak about a wrongful death down in Mississippi, I believe. And make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. Anytime we get any kind of information or news about anything like this, we'll be sure to clue you in.